Okay, so to begin this one, let's pick one color that you'd make to make your first flower. I'm gonna try this one, which is gonna make a pink if I make it light enough. And I'm grabbing a lot of water. This is gonna be pretty watery and very light. I'm making this very, very light on purpose because it will be our first layer.
We can do any color besides pink, right?
Yeah. Any color that you like to make your first flower. And just notice how much I'm making here. You don't have to make quite that much, but it helps to have more than enough. We're painting flowers today. Hi. Flowers. Yes. And it will look something like that when we're done. Okay. Actually, I should put that in front of me for reference. Now once you've gotten a nice puddle of very watery paint here, you can go ahead and just make some flower-like shapes. You can experiment with different shapes. For mine, I'm going to go like this. Maybe like do 2 right there, and then keep doing 2 like that all the way around. Notice how watery this one is. It's puddling a little bit. That might be a little bit too much for my taste, but we'll see.
It doesn't sound good.
No, definitely not. And then I would encourage you to do a few of them. Maybe try different sizes or different shapes of petals. You can make them thinner or thicker. Let's start with 3. And just put them in different spots on the paper, whatever you think looks nice. We'll keep adding more as we go. Maybe I'll make this one way bigger. And remember to keep it pretty watery on the paper. I'll try playing some other music a little bit. Beautiful. Try this instead. Okay, once you have a few flowers on there, we're gonna switch to actually this smaller brush just so we have a different one. And then mix some color that you'd like to put onto these. You can use the same color or a different one if you want to experiment. I think I'm gonna choose a color that's next to this red on the color wheel and go with this red. It's a slightly warmer one. And this pile of paint should be much darker, as in more saturated with color and pigment. And still have some water in it, like this isn't super dry, the one I'm making. We want it to be, oops. We want it to be able to flow a little bit. I accidentally touched the other puddle. Because what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna dip this on some of the edges, like that, to let it bleed. I'll try some of the outer edges. Maybe I'll even add a little bit right there. And you'll notice if there's a lot of water like this, the water kind of goes out of control and it spreads in somewhat unpredictable directions. Yeah, not a bad thing, it's just a certain, it has a certain effect. Now that's what happens when the water is puddly like this on the paper, and if I shift it, it'll kind of just flow. But if the water, like I've mentioned in the past, on the paper is pretty even and flat and it doesn't move and it doesn't puddle, then it'll spread more evenly. Like for example on this one, it spreads slower, it doesn't go wild, it's a bit more predictable. So the key to the even blends is to have the first layer that's wet on the paper, just a flat, even sheen of wetness that won't run. And maybe I'll put some in the middle there. You can try dropping this color, this more intense color, on any part of the flower and make your own design. You could even try putting in another color. Hi! I think I'll try, just for fun, I'm gonna try a green. It's a totally different color. Let's see what happens if I put this one here. What if I put it in the middle of the flower? And the edges? This looks pretty nice. Interesting. Just remember, if you're experimenting, you might run into surprises that you don't like. It's the nature of experimentation. But at least you get to discover something new. I don't know if I like this one, but I'm glad I tried it. Any questions so far? Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and fill my paper with more flowers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try different shapes to explore more and experiment some more. In a different color. Let's try blue. No, I want to do orange. On this one, I'm going to try leaving some gaps in the middle of the flower to give it some variety. And I'll show you what I mean. But again, like, you're welcome to create your own designs here. Follow along at your choice if you'd like to. Again, keeping this first layer very light so that when I add the more intense color, it pops out. Okay. Now with this one, I'll do the red. Drop the color right in the middle there. And I left some white gaps in the middle to separate the petals. On this one, I'll try adding the colors on the middle and the ends just to see how that looks. Ooh. I'm going to add even more color here. Now this is an orange, in addition to the red I just dropped in. That's kind of nice. Yeah, I think that one's my favorite one right now.
The worst one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this one right now. It's still drying. I put so much water on there.
It definitely did an improvement on the paper.
Yeah, it feels better, right?
Paper quality, yeah.
This one is 100% cotton.
It has so much water.
Yeah, that's why cotton is really good. I think the one that we were using is wood pulp.
Yeah.
I think. It doesn't actually say on the supply, like the provider, unfortunately.
It's very hard to hear you with that music playing.
Oh, it is?
In that direction.
Oh, okay. Let me turn off the music or turn it down. Let's see. Thanks for letting me know. I'll face this way when I speak. And speak louder. I'm going to continue to experiment with different shapes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. This is an opportunity to just play around. The only guidance we're following, or guideline that we're following, is to make flower-like shapes and make sure the first layer is wet enough to drop in color, because we're practicing wet on wet here. Yeah. Unless you don't want to practice that, then you can make whatever you want. But this is just a suggestion. I want to try purple. See if I can. I'm trying to record myself in multiple ways. All right, this is gonna be a purple one for me, or magenta. Maybe I'll do some smaller ones on mine just for some variety. Marianne, am I speaking loud enough?
Yeah.
I guess that's a no. Marianne,
Huh?
can you hear me okay?
It's this way, yes?
Okay, gotcha. Oops. I'm gonna go wild and put brown on here.
Yeah, that's nice.
That might look very interesting. Let's see. Right, I'll do this. Whoa. Okay. At any point, if you feel like adding stems and leaves, you can go ahead and do so. I won't stop you. I'm going to add it to mine because to me it feels like it wants
Yeah.
more stems. I'm just following my gut feeling here. So just follow whatever you feel like the painting wants. If it starts to feel like it wants more leaves or a different color, go ahead and try it and see how it looks. And with the stems, I'm going to do the same thing where I add a light color with a lot of water and then drop in darker colors or more intense colors on top. So for this one, I'll try maybe this light green first. Very watery. Like so. And then add some leaf-like shapes to this stem. And again, you can experiment with how this looks too. It's just lines and blobs, actually.
That's cute.
Thank you. Now, if you find that the bigger brush is too thick for your stem, you can always switch to this thinner one. It makes it easier to make fine lines. In fact, I'm gonna try that right now. Because some of my stem is touching my flower, the flower color is bleeding into it, which actually looks kind of nice here.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out later. Now I made these leaves on the bottom very watery, so now the water is going kind of wild when I add the color in. So if I wanted it to be more controlled, I should have added less water and not let it puddle. Yeah, you'll discover as you experiment just how much water to add. And as always, you can take the water out by taking a dryer brush and soaking it up like a sponge. If you're curious, though, you could also just leave the puddle there and see what happens when it dries. The end result always surprises me because I can never tell what it's going to do when there's that much water. With watercolor, getting the effect that you want is all about balance and managing the water and the color. Because if it's too dry, it won't blend. If it's too wet, then it'll go crazy. So you gotta find the middle point, what works. And with each brand of paint, each brand of paper, it's a little bit different. So with everything you try, you just have to keep playing with it until you figure out what works. Also, if you're open to exploring, I would encourage you to try different colors. Maybe mix in, if you're using greens for your stems, try mixing in a little blue with that green, or brown, or even red. Is it okay if I take some video like last time? It'll be anonymous as usual. Okay, thank you. I just love documenting everyone's work and seeing how you progress over time. These are beautiful.
bunch of flowers. I'm like,
Yeah. Nice. You can see you've got individual
yeah.
stems and flowers there.
Yeah, and I was just like, not really good with stems, but it's fun. It's fun how it mixes the paint. You know how it transfers over
Yeah, yeah.
with the other colors.
With the stems, what were you struggling with?
I was just creating a bunch of them. I should have just connected them.
Oh. I mean, this is nice too. It's a different
Yeah.
pattern.
Just different.
Maybe next time you can try doing the connected one.
Yeah, connected one. That was like a preschool flower.
Ooh.
Like someone for preschool girl
Oh.
like colored it.
That's simple, yeah. It's a simple style.
Yeah, I was just having fun.
Good.
That one's pretty. They're all pretty.
Yeah, I like them. Anyone got any questions for the last couple minutes?
It's pretty fun.
Good.
Pretty fun. Relaxing.
Yeah, always.
It's just relaxing that how this paper works better with the watercolor.
Yeah, it absorbs it better.
Like it bleeds really nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it blooms.
Yeah.
Like the other one, I think the paint more just sits on top,
Yeah.
but this one absorbs it.
Yeah, like as soon as you put the water in the color, it just
Yeah,
like
that's the
spreads.
fun part.
Yeah.
That's why I was like really looking for a better paper that was
Yeah.
also budget friendly.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think is a good in between the professional stuff and the cheaper ones. Well, since we have maybe it's 11:46, so maybe another 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start adding details on mine.
Yeah. That's fine.
Everyone's doing their own thing, so as always, no pressure to follow me.
I'll clean these up.
But I'm gonna add a couple things. Let's see.
Well, you have an extra page with the clean paper here. I don't know, Mrs. Taylor said she was gonna join us, but
Oh, maybe something came up.
I don't know what happened.
Maybe she didn't feel good.
Yeah.
She said, I'm coming. Maybe she had a last minute call.
Yeah, she could have done.
Yeah. I hope she's okay.
I think I'm gonna take off for lunch.
You're gonna take off?
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds good. What do you think?
It's different.
It's very bold. That's your style.
Yeah, I know. I've got, you know, a lot of people say I've got a heavy hand, which I do. So,
Heavy hand.
heavy hand.
Oh.
Well, that's the size brush that you're using.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was using that at the
Yeah,
time.
I switched over to this.
Yeah,
It's pretty though.
yeah.
Very colorful. Yeah.
But my, the one in clay art, she always criticizes and says, you have a heavy hand, so you have to make do with what you got.
Oh, the clay?
Yeah, the clay.
My husband did watercolors. And
Is it is there a clay instructor?
very saturated. I mean,
Or-
it's just-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah,
comes
there it
with
is.
Oh,
once a month, I think.
I see.
But I think it's a matter of trying
Yeah.
to design.
Oh, that's true too. I mean, yeah, that's, yeah,
Not
some of
that
these are
bad.
better than,
Mine doesn't have any design, it just goes every which way.
I need my walker.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
right. I thought you walker. I forgot about your walker.
That's all right. I don't.
You remember.
Like, I never forget.
No.
So this was starting to get more interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yes, that was good though. Yours is pretty.
There's a unity to it.
Yeah, you definitely have. I see you using more lines and
Yeah.
softer colors. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
a bit more
Uh-huh.
unity.
Ooh, yours is
But
pretty
we
good.
get
Cake.
more unity.
Oh yeah.
Yours is pretty
But
good.
it's not there.
Your
So
picture.
I'll have
You want more unity?
or different?
Well, you were experimenting, right?
Oh,
So it's gonna, and naturally when you're experimenting, it's gonna go wild. But now you know what these look like when you paint them
Thank
like
you,
this.
I tried.
well, this one came out
I
like
try to.
sort of
Red sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I've never made sunflowers. Well, I could create
Ready for the
awesome
case?
stamps and all
Yeah,
that.
I know. It's
Stamps
fun.
and all
Yeah.
that.
That's good. Bye, Sherry.
Bye, thank you for coming. Mhm.
Well, it's fun to try stuff. I think everyone tried something different today.
Yeah, that was cute.
Oops. I touched a wet part by accident.
Are you going on any trips for the summer?
Me?
Uh-huh.
A few camping trips with my family.
Oh, fun.
We have one this weekend and then another one. Actually, no, that's October. We're just planning very far ahead because the campsites get booked up fast. Uh, Yeah. My husband has a backpacking trip planned for July. He's not telling me where we're going. And then I think he has a few more trips lined up. But they're all outdoor, like camping and things like that. Otherwise, our kids just have summer camps and
Oh, you guys send them to summer camps?
yeah, their mom signed them up.
Oh, for like
for-
church? Like a church?
No, like one of them's a chemistry one for our younger one who really loves science.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and then the older one, I don't think she's signed up for anything this summer. I might just like take her out and go on different trips and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do you guys go to Disneyland?
They no. Apparently, no one in the family likes theme parks, which is interesting. I think most kids do, but our kids aren't really into it.
yours has a certain unity to it, so what are you thinking when you do it in order to get that?
That's a good question.
Looks good.
For unity, anytime you want to unify something, keep one thing consistent throughout the whole piece because it's the foundation or the unifying thing. So, for example, on mine, I made sure that all of my flowers were solid, so they're all one piece here. They're all connected. And then I also did one thing consistently, which was I added the more intense color on the edges here and also on the inside for most of them. So they all have that same look.
Right.
So you can see here, like I only added the more saturated color on the edges of these petals, and I also dropped it in the middle. So this one is in the middle, on the edges, middle, on the edges, middle, on the edges. I did vary the shapes a little bit, but not that much, so the shapes even are pretty similar too. I did this one a couple of times, like these two are similar, then these two are similar, these two are more similar. But more in common, they are all filled all the way with the lighter color first, the first layer, and then I dropped in a darker color on top.
Right.
That's one thing I did consistently throughout. So if you want yours to look more unified, I would pick one thing to do throughout the whole piece. Whether it's you do one flat layer of color for everything you put on there, and then add intense color on top like I did. You can do like the same shapes throughout the whole piece or the same colors.
Oh, your placement also you kind of have a plan on putting this here and this here and this here?
Somewhat. When I start, what I have in mind is, okay, I want it to look like it's flowing, so I'm just going to start from the top and go like this with the composition. I started with the bigger pieces first because they help me establish the ground, essentially. I always start big when I make a composition and then go smaller and smaller. So start with the big shapes. In this case, these were the flowers, and then I added the more finer details later on. Like I put the finer details on top. That helps. It makes it easier to plan the composition. So
It gives you more of a plan, so, you know.
yeah, maybe that's what we could try next time. Or I could explain more of my thinking process as I'm designing it. It's always big to small. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
So the composition is important, so there's some kind of feeling of unity there.
Yeah, it feels more balanced and more harmonious. Yeah. So since you brought that up, maybe next time I can explain more of the thinking process behind the design. And sometimes it helps to sketch it first, like we've done in the past. And yeah, we can go from there.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Good questions.
Lot to think about.
Yeah. You always ask good questions. Thanks, Marianne.
I am known for that.
Really curious, and you're really committed to understanding what you're doing.